You're listening to the Complex Action Actual Play Podcast. The team gets a call about a second job. They must have impressed somebody after their last bit of work. They get to track down a fugitive troll who thinks he's a Norse god. Well, that is if someone can manage to convince Elric that he's not being hunted by bounty hunters. Now please enjoy Episode 8, A Trip to the Clinic. Over the next couple of days, the party, by the way, just goes normal. It kind of just dies down on its own in the middle, early morning hours and everything. But for the next couple of days, you hear, in the news, Horizon Riverbanks Zoo is gearing up to unveil their virtual zoo attendance feature in the coming months, where patrons can visit the zoo via the Matrix in virtual reality. And they can experience all the fun and excitement of actually being at the zoo, but, with some additional VR-only exhibits as well. Horizon was not too long ago hired by the city of Columbia to revitalize their public image, sort of part of this program to attract people and corporation business and everything to the city to kind of like revitalize business and tourism and everything. Just part of that whole effort. Also, you hear in the news of the trial of Travis Barton, also known as Icefire, has begun. He's being tried for the murder of Samuel Johnson, a West Columbia man who's found dead by Lone Star police in a basement 2 weeks ago. It's not expected to be a short trial. Prosecutions had trouble finding physical evidence or any evidence of substantial kind. Also noted that it's Justice Shield's first criminal defense client. So, yeah.
I can't believe his name's Justice Shields.
It only takes like 150 million to change your name.
Right?
Providing you have a sin, I guess.
Hey, what? Oh, I was gonna say, that's pretty cheap for a fake sin.
No, you gotta have a real sin. You gotta be willing to let them dig deep into to get that changed.
So, little time's gonna go by, about a week and a half. You guys are kind of getting used to the idea of, some of you are getting used to the idea of being Shadowrunners, and you're going about your normal business. The party was on the 18th, for example, so it's almost been 2 weeks. Or it's been about a week and a half. The party was not on the 18th, I'm sorry. Not that it matters. It's been about a week and a half. It's going to be...
remember how much we got paid?
Almost enough to buy a scoot, if memory serves.
Altogether, 2,750 new yen, but there were some expenses. I don't remember. You guys worked that out.
2,600 after expenses.
Well, so anyway, on the morning of August 30th, you wake up. It's very cloudy. Wind is starting to pick up. It's actually kind of cool, unusually cool. Probably an indication that storms are coming in, and Elric will get a comm call. It's Justice Shields.
Okay, I'll answer it. Hello?
Hey there, Elric.
Yeah, you got the right number.
Okay, right. So I just got some information. Someone who might want to talk to you about getting some work done. Some you and your friends might be sort of up your alley. If the way you guys and your friends handled the last one at the end there is any indication. Anyway, I got someone who's looking for some help, and he, I think you guys might be a good fit for you guys.
Good. All right. I guess he's just looking for like me and my friends.
Just some work to be done. Yeah. He wants to meet you guys. He asked me to find someone. I thought it might work for you guys. Wants to meet you guys at a coffee shop that's right across the street from the Horseshoe there. And no obligation, just wants to meet and talk to you guys, and he'll give you the information, and you can decide then. The coffee shop, it's called the Coffee Grounds.
Oh, yeah, I know the place.
So if you guys, if you're going to be there, please be there in about 11:30 this morning. And if you're not going to be there after you talk people, please let me know ASAP so I can let him know and find someone else. You know what I mean?
Sure, I'll make some phone calls, but I'm pretty sure we'll be there.
All right, excellent.
What time again?
11:30 this morning.
Oh, that's kind of short notice. It's what, 9:30 now?
Yeah, it's about, yeah. I know it's a little bit short notice, but yeah. You need
I better
somebody.
make some phone calls then.
Thank you.
Yeah, and congrats on your first defense case, huh?
Whew, I am in the mud right now. All right, but it's exciting. I can't lie. It's good stuff. I think things are looking up for me, which means, and he lowers his voice, which means it could be looking up for you.
All right, well, good luck with everything. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion at this point, but, you know.
Hopefully, you know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I shouldn't have said that. I gotta go.
All right, bye. I hang up. Then I'll dial up my sister.
Hey,
Daniel Jackson.
yeah,
Hey.
you know whose number this is. What's up?
Some guy called me. Oh, Justice Shields. He called me about a run. We're supposed to meet some guy in a couple hours at a coffee shop. Here's the. Bloop, there we go. I don't know. I don't have to say bloop when I do it, but it just seems to make. I don't know. Never mind.
It's
But
alright.
there's the address tag. But it's be 11:30. So do you think the other guys are up now?
What time is it?
It's like 9
Yeah.
something, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, send them messages. Send a message to Eon. She listens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll send a message to Eon. Hello, Eon. This is Elric. Can you wake up Payday if he's sleeping? We have to go here at this time. I'll hit the bloop thing and send the address code.
You actually did that, didn't you?
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
such a sucker.
Eon
I'll call
responds
Leroy.
back almost immediately. I apologize, Elric. We were not online yet. I will wake Payday up immediately. We will be on time.
I text back. Thank you. And then I'll send a message to Leroy. Hey, Leroy, meet at 11:30 here. And I hit the thing. Boop.
What time of the day is it?
It's early in the morning.
It's about 9:30.
There was a lot of free beer last night, right? Or no, it was a week later.
Yeah, it's a week and a half.
He would probably pick it up and send back just a simple okay, and then go back over to sleep with an alarm set.
Yeah, as long as I get a response from him, I'll assume he got the message. And I'll go ahead and conjure up a 4/6 fire spirit, because that's what I do in the morning. Hopefully it works out better than the last time I did that. Well, you know, one of the last times a couple weeks ago. Limit caps me out at 6 hits.
You got 3 net hits. So roll 6 drain.
Alright, I take 2 drain, I'll set an alarm clock for an hour and take a cat nap.
All right.
Actually, I'll make it an alchemical preparation in case something goes horribly wrong as well. Just to increase reflexes, 1 at force 4 with the command trigger. Roll all that stuff here.
Is anybody doing, besides the alchemy, is anybody doing anything before the meet that I need to know about?
Making sure my suit's clean.
It's as clean as is acceptable for Leroy.
That'll work.
I'll pop some Nova Coke.
Payday will eventually roll out of bed after Eon's blaring an alarm at him, and manage his way to the meet in clothes that he hasn't changed in 2 days and that wrinkled leather jacket.
What's
And he
the
looks
exact
like
day?
hell.
All right. Well, as you guys are starting to make your way, it starts to rain lightly. Starts to rain. You know, the rain is coming in now. It's hard to tell sometimes when it rains in Colombia whether that's a good or a bad thing. It seems like, you know, at this time of year it can go either way. It can either make it really, really muggy or it can kind of cool things off. But it seems to be doing the latter right now, and the air is actually feeling a lot nicer than normal. Although you got to deal with the rain now. But the coffee shop you guys are going to, if any of you ever go to coffee shops, you'll know the area, the place. It's called Coffee Grounds, or the Coffee Grounds. It's like it's like a trendy kind of hip coffee place. Well, I shouldn't say trendy. It's more like a hipstery coffee place. It's been around since the university was in operation. University of South Carolina was in operation. It's more than a decade ago, and people went there, intellectuals and whatnot, went there to be intellectual or pretend that they felt intellectual, and it's kind of still the same in a way. A lot of people go there to make themselves, to look intellectual, or maybe more intellectual than they really are. But it's a coffee shop / cafe, so open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And Elric steps in. He'll kind of pull back the rain hood of his coat and take a deep breath and say, smells like finals.
Yeah, Elric would probably be quite at home in a place like this, or at least it would feel very familiar.
I'll go up and order a soy latte.
Coming right up. As you're ordering, you see in the corner, you recognize, he stands up, and as you're getting your drink, Higgs stands up in the room next to there and waves you over.
I kind of start and look over at him and look back around and try to see if there's anybody ready to, who in the crowd or here who looks big and strong, like they might be set up to grab me. And I'll glance back at him, and I'll glance back away, and I'm kind of stuck in fight or flight mode at this point. Is anybody else here with the team?
I'd probably be showing up soon.
I assume I came with you.
Yeah, I'll look back over at Higgs and raise up a finger as if to say, just a second. I'll go kind of turn to bolt away and kind of bump into Danny behind me. Oh, hey.
You alright there?
Careful, this might be a setup. You see any signs of goons around?
Me?
I don't, but I don't really have the eye for these things yet, right? Takes time to develop, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that elf chick in the corner over there, she could be a whizworm or something, but hard to say. I don't want to perceive astrally that might tip them off. So just act casual.
Alright. Danny is so confused.
He
Higgs
sees you guys Higgs sees you guys kind of fumbling, or not both of you, but sees Elric fumbling around, and he kind of, you can see from across the room that he smiles and chuckles a little bit, and he walks up and he says I'm sorry, and he's talking to Pillar at this point. He says, I'm the person, we're through our mutual friend, Mr. Shields. You guys were probably here to meet with me.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. Pillar will offer a hand to shake it.
Kind of turns around and smiles nervously, and anybody behind him can see that he's got his wand out, but holding it behind his back.
He smiles and extends his hand and says, "Come on over here. I've got a room. There's a small room over here that I've asked them not to let anybody in."
Sounds like the perfect time for Leroy to walk in, come up behind Elric, go, watch where you point that kid.
Hey, Leroy. Right, you're here for the meet. Kind of lean over near him and whisper, I careful, it might be a setup.
Giant raise of eyebrow. Like, what makes you say that?
Just keep your eyes open, right?
So there's a small room that's just connected to it's a pretty small place, but it's broken up into a couple of different rooms that normally are open and connected to each other by open doorways. But one of the rooms has like three small tables in it that is kind of apart from the other ones, and they're able to be closed off. And you guys go in there, and they close, and the doors get closed.
Elric sort of jumps nervously as the doors close.
He says, have a seat. Is there anything you guys want to know? Elric, it looks like you got a coffee already. But anybody else want anything?
No, I'm good.
Payday doesn't seem to really realize that he's speaking. He's kind of seems almost like he doesn't quite know where he is right now.
And Higgs kind of looks at him and says, "Hey, pal, you okay? I don't think I saw you a week ago, but I don't think we met."
Payday, I'm all right. I'm fine.
Yeah. He's always distracted with techno stuff.
Higgs kind of nods and looks like he's thinking. He says, "Well, why don't you have a seat?" And he kind of like pulls a chair out for Payday.
All right, I'm going to shift to astral perception to see if there's anything observing us.
There's nothing that you can see immediately. Would you like to take a moment to assense?
Yeah, I'll take a moment to assense. 3 hits. Once I've assessed the area, then I'm also going to carefully assess Higgs. Unless that roll is for Higgs.
I assumed that was for the area.
Alright, 4 hits on Higgs.
All right, one sec. I just dropped something. All right, well, on Higgs, he's got no BioWare. I mean, he's magic 7, which is higher than yours, and he seems to be composing himself, but he's just kind of like an awkward feeling and nervous in general.
Alright, so
Which doesn't seem
malice or
out of the
triumph.
ordinary with what you've experienced before with him.
And does he have any active foci or spells in him at all?
He does not.
Alright, just to be careful, I'm going to call up the fire spirit I summoned earlier and ask it to just keep an eye on things in astral space and protect myself and my teammates.
Got it. All right. Well, he has you guys sit down, and he says, it's nice to see you guys again. Elric, we met. As I told you, I'm a bit of a bounty hunter.
Right, yeah, a bounty hunter for mages.
Well, yes, that's true. Well, I specialize in magical threats in general. But that's why you guys are here.
Because we're magical threats?
No. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I need some help tracking down a bounty that's been spotted here in Colombia. And so I coincidentally was pointed in your guys' direction by our mutual friend, Mr. Shields.
It's good of him to do some referral work. What can I help you with?
Well, like I said, I'm trying to track down a bounty. It's an escaped convict. The pay is 3,000 each, with a bonus. The contract is for dead or alive, but there's a bonus of 1,500 each if he's brought in alive.
So, who is this person?
Well, let's talk about whether or not you guys want to accept the job first before I give you too many details. Like I said, he's an escaped con that's been on. That people have been trying to track him down for a while, and he's been spotted here. Like I said, $3,000 if he's brought in, a total of 4,500 each if he's brought in alive.
How about you make it 6,000 each if we bring him alive?
6,000 each.
Can afford that, right? What are you getting out of this?
I mean, of course I'm taking a cut, but
That's because you ain't doing any of the work.
Yeah,
Well-
what that guy said.
I will say that I've done a great deal of the work. Mostly what I need is help with the actual, apprehension, so to speak.
So you gonna come with us on this?
Well, okay. Go ahead and roll negotiations for me.
All right. 5 hits.
All right. He says, okay, yeah. So you're right. I'm not gonna come with you. I get that. How about instead of just 6,000 if he's brought in alive, how about I sweeten the deal with an extra 500 on both sides of the equation? So,
All right.
3,500 if you bring him in, and we'll say 5,000 if he's brought in alive.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
So, I'm all for doing the alive thing, more money and all, and of course it's preferable for everybody involved. But if we do have to bring him in dead, what exactly do we have to bring in?
All right. So we're all in agreement. So we can move forward with these discussions.
Payday kind of absently nods to Eon, and Eon accepts on his behalf.
All right. Well, if we're all in agreement that we're going to take the job, then let's talk details. The bounty is a troll, man named Robert Albertson. He escaped a few months ago from a supermax prison up off the coast of New York City. You might have heard of the place. It's called Penitentiary Island. Anybody?
No.
Leroy's got a set.
Never been.
Anyway,
Always charge extra for trolls.
anyway, he's been tracked to the Columbia area. Now, this guy is no joke. That's why I'm calling in some help. I normally don't have to have help, but I'm calling in some help with you guys. He's a pretty powerful mystic adept. He's also insane.
Are we saying toxically insane or just general run-of-the-mill insane?
Oh, no. Trust me. I wouldn't be insulting you guys with that amount of nuyen if that were the case.
Do you have any idea what tradition?
He's run-of-the-mill insane. Well, let me tell you, the guy thinks that he's Thor, the god of thunder. From what I understand in the research I've done, he ascribes to the Norse tradition, as it would make sense, of magic. In fact, he only responds to that name, Thor. He carries a fragging huge hammer, of course.
Oh man, this guy sounds really cool, actually.
So you might imagine he's not hard to spot. He wears some costume, some hunting wilderness kind of armor. I think it's a modified big game hunter outfit, but it's modified to look like resemble old Norse or Viking clothing.
Is the hammer a foci?
I'm not 100% sure, but this guy goes full on, and I can almost bet that it probably is, but I haven't. Well, actually, scratch that, reverse it. Higgs has encountered the guy before, so he says yes. I encountered the guy one time. His hammer is a focus of some kind. I wasn't able to get details on that, but it is. So,
Can we keep that after?
Probably my friends who are hiring me are going to want that, but Anyway, you got the whole deal. He is not hard to spot, like I said. As I said, I've done a lot of the work tracking him here already. In fact, he was last seen this morning, which is why I kind of had to get you guys on short notice. He was last seen this morning at a clinic in downtown Columbia, busted into Midtown Clinic, and demanded to be treated for some wounds he'd received in some previous scuffle that he'd been in. There was another troll patient there who tried to deal with the rude behavior of this guy. Unfortunately, this patron didn't realize that this guy was crazy, and it didn't end well. The troll bystander was killed by Thor, Mr. Albertson, and several other patients were injured. The doctor in the clinic, Dr. Brown, he treated Thor and let him move on. So I would guess that your best bet is probably to head down there as soon as you can and talk to Dr. Brown and maybe any of the other witnesses there and get started there.
You got any photos or anything like that? Video, maybe?
He shoots you over some photos of the guy. Like standard on file kind of stuff, but he's already got it all put together for you.
All right.
So, I guess just out of curiosity, you being a bounty hunter for mages and everything, you have an idea of like all kinds of different bounties that are out on different people in the area, right? You hear about that stuff? Is there like a database or something?
He kind of smirks a little bit and he says, I don't know. Why would you want to know?
No, just curious if anybody I know might be, or if I were on a list or something, you might happen to know.
I haven't seen your name come across any scream sheets or anything, no.
Right. And why should it? No reason, of course.
He smiles again when he says, "Of course not."
Yeah, good.
He says, so this guy, like I said, he's just passing through. He's kind of been coming up, going through town. So there's no time limit per se, but he might not stay in town for long. And also, I guess, for the money you're being paid, probably behooves you guys to get it done as soon as you can. But who am I to tell you how to do your job? Anyway, we negotiated 3,500 dead, 5,000 alive.
We're excited to get to work, Mr. Higgs.
Yeah, trust us. We'll get it done.
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna be here. He looks out a window and kind of gestures to the rain and says, "Looks like it's picking up a little bit, so I'm not exactly in a hurry to rush off. I think I'm gonna enjoy another cup of coffee."
All right. Be in contact. Pillar will tap Elric on the shoulder. Might just go hop a bus and head downtown.
Right, yeah. I'm gonna
Promise.
just kind of think a bit. Columbia area knowledge skill. What do I know about this clinic, if anything?
Go ahead and roll it.
3 hits.
1 second.
And as we're sort of getting away from Higgs, so Danny, you pick anything up on that guy? Do you think he was telling the truth?
Yeah, man. Seems legit. No,
Pick up that we should have asked for more money. A literal crazy troll.
I did ask for more money.
He's a mystic adept. Everybody know what that means?
Yeah,
He's
he
a
would.
crazy troll.
Sure, it's fine.
It means he's got the powers of both a physical magician, like an adept, Bruce Lee kind of Drek, and spell slinging capabilities, and also the possibility of also conjuring spirits. Sort of a magical trifecta.
You can take
I'm
care of that, right?
I can take care of some of it, but if he walks up and tries to smash me with a hammer, I'm going to be a little bit shorter afterwards.
Oh,
I
we
don't
can't
think
have
that's
that.
possible. Haha, see? Haha. Fist
Um,
bump, Leroy.
Total fist bump.
Brown Medical Clinic or Brown's Medical Clinic is a medical clinic that's in downtown, just outside of downtown Columbia. It's in the downtown district, but it's a little bit, several blocks away from where you guys stay. Right across the street, actually, the clinic is right across the street from the new university / college in town, Benedict College, where all the any students go now after the University of South Carolina shut down. So that's the college university of note there. Research is done there, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this is across the street from that. It's just your typical clinic, It's small kind of clinic. Good guy. That's about all you know.
All right. So how do we handle this? We're not exactly authorities for somebody to open up to, but we want to go up front or try to sleaze what we can.
Not so sure we should be poking the bear, as it were, so soon to find out about him. Maybe track him, maybe get him while he's asleep.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to this clinic that he went to. We got to get all the info we can. Who knows? Maybe the doc even took a ritual sample. I might be able to call Morningstar and pull out some detection mojo.
I'm sorry, did he say whether or not we could keep that axe?
They said they wanted it back. It's a
They said they
hammer.
wanted it back, but we are also not being paid any extra to retrieve foci.
I think we could keep it. That'd be a nice little car. Things aren't cheap, right?
I'm sure I could find a buyer for it.
We'll get to that when we get there. So head down to this clinic.
Yeah, so I guess we'll catch a bus.
You'll be standing out. There's a bus stop. It's a little crowded because it's raining right now, so everybody's standing underneath the bus stop awning.
Oh, we just got paid. I'll call a cab. Get a cab.
Yeah, you guys can take
yeah,
a
if you're
cab.
buying.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll do it.
It's not too far away, so like 10 new yen.
Done. I'll tip the cabbie another 5.
Hey, thanks. All right. Well, when you get out there, it's on a street called Hardin Street, and it's old, small, white concrete building. It's got just simple words painted on the front: Brown's Medical Clinic. But when you get there, there's already a few Lone Star patrol cars out front, along with an ambulance, and there's 2 Lone Star officers standing outside smoking cigarettes under an awning. Just casually chatting, looking a little bored. There's also a crowd starting to form in the area as curious sort of onlookers wonder what's going on and whatnot.
Oh, good one. He's already started the party without us. And Payday seems very now with it and not as distant as he was about an hour ago.
When he was talking about the bounty, is this like an official bounty, or is this like a off the books?
Well, he didn't say. He seems sort of official, but he didn't say.
Maybe we can call up to see whether or not it's official, because I have a bounty hunter's license, and I could totally...
Yeah, well, let's just say there's no reason to like force you guys to beat around the bush with this thing. Let's just say it is an official bounty. You know, like he's like if he were going there, he could be there on official business, so to speak. Like,
How are we gonna get past the cops?
Well, this is a medical facility, right?
Yep, it's a clinic.
Is there a dark alley around that I could perhaps sucker punch somebody and give them a black eye and take them into?
Well, it's the daytime, and there is a small alley next door. I wouldn't call it dark, but it's rainy. But there are people around.
Go talk to him. Let's go talk to some of the people. Just find out what's going on. Pillar's supposed to go up and like, just act like she did just get here. She's gonna walk up to somebody, just stand around and ask them what's going on.
Any of you're talking about the people that are gathering?
Yeah, the people that are just gathering, looking around.
People are like,
Pillar.
yeah, they're huddling under, umbrellas and stuff, and people are like, man, yeah, there was a big thing, some loud noises over there, people screaming, and I mean, police, Lone Star's here now, but I'm just trying to see what's going on, you know. And then while that person says that, another person kind of like overhears and says, "No, I was here before. I was coming out of the consignment shop across the street, and I saw this fragging huge troll come out. He's had this giant hammer in one hand and some weird clothes. He had a woman with him too. I think it was she was wearing scrubs, so maybe she was one of the ladies that worked there, but they jumped into this big van and drove off. He jumped in the back, threw her in the front.
What color is that van?
It's just a big white van.
That's
It's got a big Brown's clinic written on the side. It's Doc Brown's van.
Oh wow, car theft and murder. This dude's mean.
Yeah, I mean, he's a troll.
Oh, that's fair. Well, over D&I. Well, that's easy enough, right? We get a hold of the doc, get him to trace the icon. We can find at least the van.
Yeah, good thinking. Now we have to get to the doc, though. We have to get through the cops to get to him, right? How are we going to do that? Aren't you on parole or something?
Yeah.
They're just cops. They're not gonna do things.
I could do a distraction. I have a fire spirit I could call in.
Roy's just gonna start walking into the public building.
I was gonna say, do they have it sectioned off like we can't go in, like the police
Nope.
taped around?
There's no police
board.
tape or sawhorses up or anything.
Oh, perfect. Maybe I'll head in with Leroy too.
All right. When you do you talk to any of the Lone Star officers outside, or are you just walking straight in?
Maybe a polite nod just to be like, officer.
I'm like
And they
walking
say-
straight in. Sorry, go ahead.
When you nod to the officers, they say, "Hey, how's it going? There's maybe you didn't notice, but there's some stuff going on." They're kind of like half-heartedly, like maybe you want to not go in there.
Oh, is it unsafe?
Well, a thing happened, and we've got some people in there taking care of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I was just picking up a prescription.
And the guy looks to his partner, and he's like, they kind of shrug, and they're like, I mean, prescription, I guess, is it important?
So he'll
Man.
kind of drop the pretense and come over to them, unless Pillar kind of does anything in this situation.
Pillar was gonna walk up and be like, "Yeah, man, do you see this guy? You know what happens when it gets to itching? We gotta get that prescription. You can
Roll me
trust us."
Roll me a con real fast.
Damn it.
I'm kind of standing back behind Pillar with like my hood drawn up and sort of over where it's covering my face with one hand sort of holding it down so it's covering my face better.
You're so inconspicuous.
6.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we get it. Yeah, go ahead in there. I'm sure there's someone who can help you. Just look, you might just don't get in the way of what's going on in there. Okay, we're supposed to put up, some tape here, but doofus over here forgot to bring it. And then the other guy's like, man,
Yeah, man, it happens all the time. Don't worry about it.
Just make it quick.
We'll
Just make
be
it quick, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna start pushing Leroy on the back, like getting walk forward.
He'll go inside.
When you guys go in, you see why he's telling you to make it quick. Inside the front door is a small lobby. There's no patients in the room, and there's really kind of nothing in there. I mean, furniture, fake plants kind of stuff, but there's a very large tarp covering a troll-sized body on the floor, and there's a forensics team inside taking pictures using instruments and standard kind of crime scene stuff. And you overhear some raised voices from behind a door on the other side of the room next to the receptionist window. It'd be the door that you would go through, where kind of like the doctor's assistant would open the door and, call patients back. It's that door. You hear someone talking in raised voices behind that door.
Well, no one's looking at me. Sorry, go ahead.
I happen to have a crime scene investigation knowledge skill. I got 4 hits on it.
Okay, what do you want to know?
What kind of, are they doing anything out of the ordinary besides just like random crime scene stuff? Like, I don't watch CSI, so I don't really know.
It looks, to Leroy, it looks all standard, like they're doing it all by the book. You've got somebody who's taking pictures of all the different things. There's some streaks of burn marks in weird places along the wall. People taking pictures of that. You've got people kind of like putting those numbered plastic number things or letters down, to mark like bits of evidence and all that kind of stuff. Everything looks normal, like they're just investigating what happened.
I cast Force 4 Magic Fingers, 4 hits, no drain.
Got it.
Then I will shift to Astral Perception and get a good sensing feel of this place, steal myself as I do.
Okay.
Did you say 5 hits?
Okay, great. So you're sensing the area?
Yep.
All right, well, something definitely happened here. There's a lot of magical energy. Now, you have to perceive, at least, to be doing that. So are you just perceiving?
Yeah, I shift to Astral Perception. I'm not projecting, of course. But...
All right. You can definitely tell a sense of something acute that happened here, lots of magical energy. There were some lightning combat spells that were cast here, so kind of fits the bill.
I'm going to then glean carefully a sense the residual magic. I should be able to pick up the astral signature of the person who cast them then.
Yeah, because it was very recently, and so it's very clear to you.
Nice, so I'm going to get their astral signature if I can.
You got it.
And that would be, 6 hits for that test.
Excellent. Yep, you have a clear picture of the astral signature. You also notice that there's no magical investigation going on right now. Just you notice offhand.
Yeah, cops doing their typical half-ass job.
Anybody else doing anything? Leroy, like I said, this is standard stuff. Like somebody goes through, a police officer goes through that door back there and opens it up, and you can hear back there the voices you heard talking from behind the door. There's a man in a white coat who's obviously a doctor standing, speaking kind of passionately to a Lone Star officer who's taking notes. Doctor's in his 60s. He's got kind of like wild white hair, and he gestures very excitedly and wildly with his hand as he speaks.
I'll try to, I guess, overhear their conversation a little bit.
Sure, give me a perception test.
The problem with playing every 2 weeks is I forget these things. 3 hits.
Yeah, it's not hard to hear them. He's giving the guy an account of what happened, and he's going into great detail about the medical examination and medical work that he did on the troll who came in there and caused all this havoc, and you hear him talking and gesturing wildly, and he talks like this, and he's so I had to deal with some contusions in the subparietal abdominal blah blah blah. He goes into a bunch of medical lingo, and he's very excited to talk about it.
Is there any names dropped of like who this guy might be?
He doesn't give his name, no, but he definitely looks like a doctor.
Can I flag down a nurse and ask the nurse who that guy is?
There are actually no nurses around.
He took the only one.
He's the only non-Lone Star person you've seen so far.
They make mention of the name of the nurse.
Nobody did yet, no.
Curiouser and curiouser.
But then again, this guy really is going into a lot of detail about the medical procedures. The Lone Star officer's looking kind of bored and slightly annoyed as he's taking notes and taking down the information.
Taylor, you want to do something before I facilitate things?
I don't know. You looked pretty into it, but yeah, I can go talk to somebody. I'm gonna walk straight up to the doctor.
All right. He keeps talking, and yeah, he's just gonna keep talking.
Oh,
He doesn't. He's got tunnel vision right now.
If I may butt in a little bit here, if you don't mind, sir. Pillar will look at the Lone Star officer, who looks rather bored.
He almost seems to like snap out of it and blink a couple of times, and he says, yes, how can I help you?
Did the Lone Star officer say that or the doctor?
The Lone Star officer.
Oh, Matt, your kid outside forgot the tape. He's just letting people in here. It's not good. You should go talk to him.
And he kind of grabs, like starts with one hand, grabs, with his two fingers, grabs his forehead, and he's like, he points to the doctor and says, forget it. I think I've got everything I need from you. You stay here in case anybody else needs to talk to you. I'll be back. And he looks very happy to leave.
Hey there, Sarah. So you have some problems here with the troll, I heard. You missing a nurse?
Yes. Who am I, and who might you be?
Oh, you can just call me Blake. Don't even worry about it. We are looking for this troll. I got a friend of mine who's wants to be friends with him, I suppose you could say.
Well,
We're
I'm...
looking for your van? They took your van too?
Yes, they took the van.
That's tragic, really.
And Rebecca with it.
Rebecca, yes, that's who we're looking for. We were wondering, if you have any idea where they went. Why would you take Rebecca? What was that about?
Well, he came in here and he caused the ruckus. And as he starts talking, another Lone Star officer walks up kind of hurriedly and he says, Dr. Brown, we can't get the panic room doors open. And are you sure there's nothing? And he stops and he says, I told you already. I don't know. They're malfunctioning, I guess. I tried. When I installed them, they were working fine. I don't know what the problem is. And then the officer says, okay, well, we'll keep working on it. I don't know how much longer. I don't know how long it's going to be before our tech people can get down here, but whatever. Okay. And he goes off. He says, where were we?
Rebecca, the chaos of the van, all that?
Yes, Rebecca. The troll, I treated his wounds, and after, protestation from myself, he came in here and created an entire scene, killed one of my patients. And against my wishes, I treated his wounds, and he left with Rebecca, my medical assistant, and they stole the van. I don't know what he wanted with it.
Are you the owner of that van?
Yes, I am. It's my van. This is my clinic.
You don't happen to know where that icon is right now in the Matrix by chance?
I probably can locate it for you. I haven't even bothered to look. These Lone Star officers, all they want to know is the details they're asking for, inconsequential.
Yeah, we're not looking for that. We want to get to Rebecca and find this guy.
Well, let's see what I can find out for you. I am in the middle of trying to, let's see. He walks over to a computer terminal that's behind like a desk that's back there, that a nurse's station, so to speak.
I send Pillar a text. See if you can get him to give you a blood or tissue sample from Thor.
All right. You don't happen to have also like some bloody tissue or anything left over from that guy, do you?
Text, no, blood or tissue sample. Never mind, bloody tissue will do.
He says, tissue sample. Why? I'm not sure why you would want something like that. It's in our biohazard bin. I dispose of biological materials in the proper way.
All of them? 'Cause
Well-
this would be really good for my bloodhound, to be able to trace it down.
I see. So, who are you again?
Concerned citizen.
Concerned citizen.
Very concerned. You can trust me, sir.
I'm not sure. Probably This is the type of thing that Lone Star would happen to deal with.
Yeah, but as you've seen the quality of their work so far, we want to get to Rebecca now and save her. We're concerned.
I'm well, that is. I do want. I just.
Trust me. Trust me.
People around this neighborhood are not exactly the type who would just up and try to track down a crazed lunatic troll.
We have somebody who's looking for the troll, and we've heard some news, so we're just, looking for him, or we can save Rebecca. It's best of both worlds. You can trust me on this. We're top professionals.
Give me a
Diplomacy?
Yes, that'd probably be the best choice.
I'm gonna use my 1 point of edge on that. Didn't really help for.
Well, you he says all right. So I think I catch your drift. He leans in a little bit and says there's an interested third party is what you're saying?
Yes,
Right. I'm going to help these Lone Star officers get the patients and the rest of my staff out of the panic room I shuffled them into that is somehow malfunctioning. And I will let you handle the other end since they are very concerned about these people. So he starts tapping away at the computer. Give me just a moment.
Perfect. All right.
I got
Been a great help here.
I got like 2 hits on like AA con roll and 4 hits on a judge intentions, I think, to see whether or not this guy's bullshit.
He doesn't appear to be. He seems to be very like he's trying to. He's very focused on his work, and he wants to get back up and moving, and he wants to help the people that he can help. But he's a little annoyed that the Lone Star officers are dragging their feet and don't have the proper people down here to make that happen.
All right. I just oh no, my panic room is somehow locked at the time Lone Star shows up. Sounds really suspicious.
Yeah. So he seems like genuinely annoyed that that's happening, and that they didn't come equipped to deal with it. All right. So he clicks away and he says, "Yes, I have the a location for the van here."
Perfect. You can pass that on to me. Pillar will ping him with a comm link to get that info.
Absolutely, and he sends the information over to you.
She'll DNI back to Elric. If they're in the biohazard thing, do you really want me to dig through that for this one dude's?
It's probably too expensive for us to make use of for this anyway, but it might be handy to have just in case, especially if it's fresh.
Yeah, I'm a little queasy about blood.
Well, just tell the doctor to get it for you. You can put it in a Ziploc bag or something, right?
I'm gonna say no on this one, bud. Let's go see the van. Maybe there'll be something left over in that.
All right, well, at least tell him not to dispose of it until we're concluded our investigation.
All right, if you can do me one more solid, Doctor, if you could just hold on to that biohazard just in case we need that later. We're gonna go check out this van though and get right on it.
Well, I don't have a schedule to pick up this stuff until tomorrow evening, but
Perfect.
the Lone Star officers, it's possible they'll ask for it. I can try to stall them, but if they want it, I'm going to have to give it to them.
Can we just get the stuff that belongs to the troll? Because I don't really want to stick my hand in something that's full of
Needles?
Yeah.
There's spent needles in there.
Yeah, you hold on to that. All right.
And broken glassware.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, that's why we put it all in here, I guess.
Yeah,
if
that
you'd
makes
like to dig it out, go for it.
No, I think we're good. Yeah, don't worry about it. Thank you so much, Doctor. We're gonna get it right on this. We're gonna get Rebecca back. All right.
Excellent.
We'll share all that information with the team of like the address and stuff where it's at, or last known location of the van.
So you got that information. The last known location was off of a road outside of the wall in Columbia. So it's actually a good distance outside of Columbia. And it shows that the van right now is on a place just in the northeast part of Columbia, off of Hardscrabble Road.
Yeah, quick question. Would Elric know that Pillar's queasy about blood and stuff, or is this something unexpected?
I think you'd know.
Okay. So it's normal for her to be queasy about blood and stuff?
I
Like,
mean, I don't like... Yes. We're gonna say yes. Since the incident, yes.
is it like negative quality level, or is it just kind of queasy about?
I'm infected.
Yeah, I guess it's we're leaving then. Elric will...
Yeah, that was all out of
Last
character
time
stuff.
I was around blood, it didn't go so well.
So, queasy about blood and all, right? That's queasiness, right, sis?
Yeah, let's let it go, man. Let it go. Let's go find out. We got places to be. I guess I'm gonna call that cabbie back. How far away is the van?
It's a good ways from here. If you don't have any trouble exiting Columbia, going through the wall, which I will explain in a moment, then it's probably about a 30-minute drive.
I'm gonna see if I can get that same cabbie back, and I'm gonna pay him double to go a little faster.
All right. So the cabbie, you can get him back. And we'll say that he didn't leave too far. You know, there's a lot of traffic around there now, and also maybe he was, curious about the crime scene. He says, "Oh, you're going outside the wall. Then well, that'll be a one way 35 nuyen."
All right. Yeah, here's 50. Make it speedy.
Alrighty.
Trying to take the turns too hard, though, right? I'm going to be doing some work in the back.
One of these times, I need you to be in the back of Payday's car, and then him to glitch a driving test, and your alchemical thing to blow up in your face. You're always doing it in the back of cars.
Thanks so much for listening. We really hope you enjoyed it. This show would literally not be possible without the generous support of our patrons over at Patreon. If you like the show and you want to help support it, head on over to patreon.com/complexaction. Supporting can get you access to various things like GM notes and even the ability to vote on the direction that the story will take. That's patreon.com/complexaction to help out. There are several NPCs and organizations which are throughout the episodes provided by patrons of Complex Action, and in this episode, those were Dr. Emmett Brown of Brown's Medical Clinic, submitted by Jeff Rohde. Thank you, Jeff. The character art on our YouTube page and various social media places was done by Ethan Brewerton. Check out his awesome Shadowrun artwork at esbrewerton.tumblr.com. The background music in this episode is brought to you by Prism Shard. To hear more of his Shadowrun-inspired music, head on over to soundcloud.com/prism-shard and give him some love. The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sounds, audio, video, and or any proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to Complex Action to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its websites, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Complex Action in any official capacity whatsoever.